right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and is with me today is always Mr. Jake Peters, and you are listening to PS's Zosmo PlayStation Podcast. This is episode 347, where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. Welcome back this week, and before we get on with the show, I want to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS. This is awesome. If you want to make fun of our trophy list on the PlayStation Network, you can find me at anchorless_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at JakeSaw01. As always, you can write the show at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. Most importantly, don't forget to share the show with your friends. Be sure to leave comments. Rate the podcast as you see fit. As a reminder, we are a video podcast as well, so you can watch our show if you prefer over our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to that. And for new and or long-time listeners, we have a Patreon. You can support our show for $1 a month. The $1 level, the Patreon tier, is called the one and only $1 Club. Head over to www.patreon.com/PS. This is awesome to become a $1 patron and get your free die-cut vinyl sticker and a shout-out on the show. This podcast airs every Wednesday for non-patrons, and if you are a subscriber to the Patreon, we usually provide early access to every show each week. So thank you for tuning in today, and this is the third week of October already, and how are you doing today, Jake?
Mixed feelings. Had a pretty good weekend, all things considered. I wrecked my dirt bike, so that wasn't cool. But then I got some work done on my room, so that was cool. And then played hockey last night. That went really well. And then found out that my brand new roof might be leaking, so that didn't go well.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, so I've been on like a roller coaster the past couple days. Because honestly, it's like one of those things where you don't know that your roof is going to leak until it's really tested. And it's been literally raining nonstop for 2 days, like literally straight. And so, thankfully, like it seems like it's just one little spot, at least as far as I can tell. Like after I got home from work today, I went up in my attic and went around the whole thing with a flashlight trying to see if I could find any wet spots to see if it was leaking anywhere up there. But I haven't found anything. But it's one of those things where it's like, dude, it could be leaking somewhere that you would never know until it starts like dripping through your fucking ceiling or something.
Right.
And then it's like, how do you fix it? So, I'm pretty sure there is a small leak, but I'm not 100% positive because when they were putting the roof on, there was a day where they didn't have the right metal. So they took the old roof off. They went to put the new roof on, realized the metal wasn't long enough. So they had to just tarp it. And then that night we got a fucking downpour. Yeah. And so a bunch of water got into my upstairs closet. And then, so I don't know if this is just remnants from that or if it's still, leaking some more or whatever. But long story short, I've got to basically take a bunch of paneling off of the walls and ceiling inside of my closet and see if I can find where it might be leaking. But it's like now that it's not supposed to rain for the next 5 to 7 days, it's kind of hard. Like I'll have to get a hose and like spray my roof to try and see if I can see any water coming through. And then I got to try and get the contractor to come back out now that he's already been paid. It might be a pain in the ass to get him to come out here. And so, dude, I don't understand what the deal is with contractors. This is like the one downside of being a homeowner is getting people to fucking work on your house. And I know that you've been dealing with it with the air conditioner thing.
Yeah.
And granted, your shit has a lot to do with your home warranty company and everything, but like still just getting contractors to call you back and getting them to come out and finish the job.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Is really, really hard.
Yeah, because we had the bathroom done and then we had the roof done also. So I didn't do any of those completely by myself. I did nothing to the roof.
Yeah. And so like it's fucking annoying, but other than that, I don't know. I got my Pool closed, which is pretty good. I mean, that's always nice to have that sort of uh, portion of my responsibilities sort of shelved for the. Dude, I'm honestly kind of looking forward to winter just because I'm like, if it means that I have half as much shit to do because I don't have to deal with like the house and the pool and all this other stuff, that'd be awesome. I know that's not how it works, but I'm kind of looking forward to not having to mow the grass and spend 2 hours raking up fucking shit on because of the trees and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. So, and honestly, looking forward to not feeling guilty about not being outside because it's dark and I can just sit there and play some video games. So, yeah. How about you?
Oh, not a whole lot. I took Friday off work. Today's a holiday for me, so I didn't work today. A nice 4-day weekend. We've been practicing for our show with 68, the guy from, I forget his name, something Schofield. I don't know. The guy plays in the Chariot, or played in the Chariot, and also Norma Jean. His band's coming through Meadville, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, which is where I live, and we're doing a little opening spot for them. The same night as the largest Halloween parade in northwestern Pennsylvania, or maybe Pennsylvania altogether. I'm not even sure, but it is. We have a huge Halloween parade here. But that evening we're playing, and costumes are encouraged. So one of my landsmen dutifully practicing, getting our songs down, tightening up for the show. You know, when you play bigger shows like this, they're very strict about how long you get. And we're getting like 25 minutes to open. We're not the opener. There's 3 other bands and 68. There's a band called Kicked in the Head by a Horse, who I think are on Pure Noise Records. And then we're playing, and then Kunashi, who I think have done a run with Coheed and Cambria. If not a run, maybe 1 or 2 shows with those guys. And then 68.
What was the band's name?
Konashi, Konashi. They're all like really, really heavy bands compared to what we sound like. So this is going to be really interesting for us. But we're locals, and I think that's why they want us on the bill. We are the local heroes of that scene. So anyways.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So just been doing that. Been working on my HeroQuest board build and painting it diligently. But I have three of the 4 quadrants completed, so it's getting closer. I don't have it all painted, but most of the room tiles are painted up. So, and I've also been thinking about my Les Paul was an Epiphone Les Paul, but I took it to my guitar guy and he put a nice Gibson humbucker in it, and it sounds fantastic. My Les Paul sounds so good. And the one guitar that I've been playing, which strangely, I mean, there's all kinds of weird shit with me, like different people that I've met who are, I wouldn't say famous, but have had more success in music than me. The one guitar that I play, which has been my primary guitar, one of my land, is the Epiphone Elitist guitar, which I think those came out in like 2005, 2006, and they were made with all Gibson parts. They just had the Epiphone logo. So they're like, back then they were like a $1,200 guitar. And J.T. Woodruff from Hawthorne Heights, when we had signed the label that they started up, told me that there was no way in good conscience he could let me play a Yamaha Pacifica being on his record label. So he gave me his Epiphone Elitist guitar, which is like a $1,200 guitar compared to the $300 guitar I've been playing. And I've been using that as my primary guitar for so long. But fun story about that guitar, if you watch Hawthorne Heights play on the Conan O'Brien show, the guitar that JT's using is the exact guitar that I have. He gave me that one.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, so it's got the white strap lock on it. So, and it's exactly I mean, I've fucked that guitar up so much now, but the action's all jacked up on it. But it's got to go get reset up. I gotta take it to Tom. I don't know what happened. It was fine, and then all of a sudden, it's not. The action's way too low. So I don't know. It doesn't rightfully even matter. But I'm going to be using the Epiphone Les Paul with the Gibson humbucker at the show, and I'm kind of excited to play it. But what I was getting to is we were talking about 3D printing on a previous show, and where the treble rhythm tone switch is on the Les Pauls, it's above the strings. So when you strum, it's very easy to hit that on the upstroke and throw it into the rhythm, the front pickup, which I can't stand. So a lot of guys will do different modifications or whatever, tape it. Right now, mine's like electrical tape down, which works. But I was thinking about printing a cap just to go over that toggle switch on my 3D printer and find a way to like fix it in there, which would be fucking cool. And then I'm thinking if I could come up with that thing, that's a marketable thing, because so many guitar players that play like Les Pauls in rock bands never use the rhythm tone. We always just play that back fucking humbucker. But anyways, it's something I'm thinking about trying to make. Now, I did find something I can work off of, and that was going to be a project maybe this month or next month, trying to figure out just the circumference, the diameter, or whatever of this, and printing off a plastic cover that is the correct length, that has enough wiggle room for that tone swatch to be wherever you want it, and then you can just screw this fucking thing on somehow so that when you're playing, you don't fucking hit it. It would be a really cool modification for a guitar, for a rock and roller.
Huh. Yeah, that'd be cool if you can make like I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like a complete cap. Just something that puts like a bar over top of the switch, so it doesn't, it's not easy to hit it, but maybe you could still reach in from the side to flip it if you need to. Yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, I think the thing about it that's going to be tricky is affixing this thing to the guitar. Right? Like, what do you do?
Or what you could do is you could
here we go.
Make it like a
how Jake and I become
like
millionaires.
Like a square. It's kind of hard to describe, but if you imagine like a ring, like if you can see, if this is your toggle, you would make like a square ring that would be like this, and then on the bottom you would have a hole that was the size of the screw for the switch, because the way that the tag is stuck on there is it's just a plate with a hole in it that the switch goes through.
Yeah.
So if you could just basically mimic that, but have like, say this is the plate,
and have it
make something that's the same, but have the edges go like up over like a rainbow, you could, and connect it all. You could just replace the tag with that.
Yeah.
And then it would be like a little switch guard.
Would you need to thread it? You just put threading on it?
No, because the switch comes through and the switch is threaded. So it comes through the body, through the tag, and then you would have to thread the nut over top of it, just like you normally would, and you would tighten it down on the thing. Or you could do like those aircraft safety switches or whatever, where it just puts if this is your toggle, you put just a rib on either side of it, so you can't like just slap it. You have to put your finger between them to hit it.
Yeah.
So you could do a number of neat things like that. You could even like have it freaking printed out with like the actual names and stuff, like something on it, like text or whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of rad. Or you could just do the easy thing and just take the fucking switch out and be done with it.
Which is what a lot of people do. But then like it's it's a pain in the end. You got to worry about the wiring and shit. You know what I mean? It'd be cool to have like a way to utilize that feature. I don't know, but without damaging the wiring. Yeah, it's something I was kicking around. It's funny because like on my iPhone, I had this idea last night, and I have all these drawings of the toggle switch, and I looked at it this morning, and it just looks like a bunch of hand-drawn wieners. Because like when you use your finger to draw shit, it never looks right on the phone, and I think it looks like I was drawing wieners on my phone. I was just trying to draw this toggle switch with like the little cap on the end, and then trying to draw stuff around it, and I was like, yeah, it just looks like a bunch of wieners. It's so funny. But anyways, that's
whatever gets the job done.
Yeah, that's what's been my my weekend. Really, is just a lot of that. I watched the movie The Fly for the first time.
Oh yeah, dude, that movie scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Dude, it's so weird because it's like I knew it was a classic and I'd never seen it, but like just watching it, it's just like wow, they really didn't shy away from like the visual grotesqueness. Like it's
like body horror, yeah.
yeah, it's like man,
fucking crazy.
Yeah, where he's like fucking secreting shit out of his fingers and stuff, and his nails are popping off, and he's like spitting pus everywhere, and like he's in the bathroom, he's like whoa, yeah, it's fucking wild.
Isn't that a Jeff Goldblum in that?
Yeah, he is the Fly. It's the grossest thing I've ever seen. I highly recommend it this Halloween if anybody's never seen it and you don't mind being visually grossed out. Pretty cool movie.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, with that out of the way, I guess what we're gonna do is jump right into games that you and I are playing. I'm gonna have to put this game aside for a little bit, and I hate playing a game and then stepping aside. But I love to play Halloween games this time of year. And I am just 130 Astro Bots into Astro Bot. And I feel like I've just been killing it. But these levels, I'm playing them 2 times a piece. And I'm trying to be thorough my first playthrough without any help. And then I go back. And then maybe I'll miss one. I got to go back a third time. I'm trying to just clear them. So the game's becoming a little tedious for me. Now, I like the game. Don't get me wrong. Don't kill me, LJ. But it's not the kind of game I want to play right now. And it's way longer than I thought it was going to take to get through. It says I only have 6 hours in it. But I don't believe that. I feel like I've been playing this game for 15 hours at this point. I have played some of those missions can be like you unlock the different face buttons as challenges. You know the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, those levels are hard.
Yeah, the triangles, I got through those, and then I just did one of the red ones, which must be the circles. They are tough. And then the other one that I recently had some trouble with was it's one of the ones where like you have to like laser cut out the bad guys. It's like
oh yeah,
the one that I just had a ton of trouble. It was those 3 bells that one would go, and another one go, and another would go. They jump up and they hop down, and then they radiate a ring of fire, and you got to jump over them, but you also have to cut around them to get them to drop through. Man, that was a tough one for me. But it was good. I beat it.
Oh, those fucking construction level ones where you have to cut like the floor out around those levels sucked. Honestly, like of all the levels that I played, those were the ones I hated the most because like the other ones are just like you just got to get kind of good and find the rhythm of the level and be accurate with your jumps and all that stuff. But that one, it's like those ones, it's like, oh, you're just if you take too long, you just fall through the floor or whatever. Or like the ones where it's like the pixely ones where the floors are falling away as you're like trying to beat the like pixelated bad guys. I don't know if you know which ones I'm talking about, but same kind of concept. It's like where you've got like one little place that you can walk on and it's constantly trying to fall away as you're trying to do something. Yeah. Like I just don't like those ones.
Yeah. But how about you, man? What are you playing? I'm going to move on to the casting of Frank Stone.
Yeah. So I let me think for a second. I'm trying to think if I played anything else. I don't believe so. I did end up buying Metaphor, ReFantazio, or whatever the hell its name is. And I've been really enjoying it. I'm almost at the end of the first dungeon, so I think I'm right before the final, like right before the boss of the dungeon. So I'm like,
excuse me.
I don't know. I think my save is like 11 or 12 hours into the game. Yeah. So I'm not, for these games, that's not really that far. But I've been enjoying it a lot. I mean, I don't really have anything new to say from last week. But yeah, if you're a Persona fan and you enjoy like that sort of style and the combat and like the day cycles and the managing your time and the way that the combat works with like enemy weaknesses and all of that, you'll get a kick out of this. Now I haven't like I don't know, like the games usually, at least with Persona 4 and Persona 5, which are the only two that I've played, they really open up after the first dungeon. So I'm sure that more will happen after I beat this first dungeon. But like I haven't gotten to a part where the game is so open that I can like hang out with my friends and stuff like that, which I'm assuming is in this game at some point. I'm just at a part where like every time I talk to them, they're like, "We need to finish the dungeon." I'm like, "Okay, fuck, whatever." But I am really enjoying it. There's something about like the battle music in this game is so fucking rad. It's like this opera thing. I don't know. There's like this like male vocalist that's just doing this like opera chanting. That's like, when I first heard it, I was like, that's kind of strange. Yeah. But like now I'm like fucking jamming out every time it comes on. It's pretty neat in that way. The one thing I will say, and I can't remember if Persona 5 was like this or not too, but there's like too many ailments that you can get in battle. Like, you know how you play Final Fantasy and it's like there's poison or despair or something like that. Well, like in this game, there's like literally 15 different fucking ailments you can get. So like
blindness.
Unless you have like a spellcaster, like a healer who's got a cure ailment, kind of like generic ailment kind of ability, it's like you've got to carry around 15 different types of items that are like, this one cures burn, and this one cures hex, and this one cures freaking despair, and this one cures anxiety, and like, and there are differences between like mental and physical ailments. Like the physical ailments will hang on after the battle is over, but the mental ailments will not. So you have to sort of like play into whether or not you're going to cure them. And like, it's cool. Like all the systems gel with each other really well. And it can be a lot to manage. And so, like, a lot of times you'll forget about a particular ailment. You won't be ready for it. And then you'll go into, like, a battle, and you'll have, like, an enemy that'll cast a thing that'll, like, inflict hex on all of your fucking characters, and they can't do anything but, like, use items. And it's like, oh, my God. So now, like, I have to, like, you know, probably lose this battle or start it over and kind of try and get away from that or whatever. But that said, it's really cool. And there's another cool feature. There's an online component that's kind of like, I think it sort of like takes a page out of the book of the Souls games in a way where, did you ever play any of the Souls games like Bloodborne or Demon Souls or anything like that? So they have this mode where it's not like, there is online where you can play with other people, but it's really convoluted and shit how to do it. But like generally the online component of the game is like players can leave messages in the world. Like you'll be running around and you'll see like a blood patch on the ground and you can select it and it'll show you like the final moments of another person's life. So you'll see them like run around a corner and like fight a few things and then die. And then you'll know like, okay, there's like shit going on over here I need to worry about. Or they might like leave a message where it'll be like script on the ground that you can read that's like caution bad guys ahead or, you know, heal your items here or what, like whatever. In Metaphor, there's a system where you can see. You press the touchpad, I think it's the touchpad, and it'll bring up like a screen that'll be like, it'll show you like 10 different other players. And it'll like, if you're in the dungeon, it'll be like, these players cleared this dungeon, and when they cleared this dungeon, they had their party members using these archetypes, which are like the different personas that you can apply to the characters, which is like what skills they have and things like that. It's like these players, they were this level when they beat it, and they were using these archetypes when they beat it. So to give you kind of like an idea of like, maybe these are the ones that I kind of want to use to have a better chance of getting through this dungeon or whatever. And like whenever you're out in the main world, like when you're not in a dungeon, you're out like doing like your normal day-to-day shit. If you press it, it'll be like 45% of players did these things during the daytime on this date. Or, 5% of players visited this store during the date, or like spent time with this companion during this date, or did this like training activity or whatever. So like one of the things that I always found and not that this makes it that much better, but that I found very intimidating about Persona is like, you only have so much, like there are certain activities that when you do them, it ends the day and you cannot do anything else that day. And you can only do certain things during the day, and you have to do those things to be able to like either increase your character stats or increase your relationships with your companions and stuff. So it's a balancing act. And it's always very stressful. It's like, oh, it's, Friday afternoon. Do I spend time with this companion to try and build my relationship with them, or do I go to this training session and try and increase this personal ability or whatever? And you try to do all of these things before you have to get to the next dungeon, or try to get them all done before the end of the game or whatever. So them adding this feature where it's like so many percent of players did like these things. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a cool little thing that you can sort of use as a template without necessarily having to look up just a straight up like day-to-day walkthrough or guide or something like that. Because I'm not one of these people, like I assume your brother is, because your brother is like super stoked about this game. I know Sarah told me because she was talking with him about it, that like I think he gets, just because, especially because of the way that he likes card games and stuff, where he gets really into like the minutia of it.
Oh yeah.
And loves like all of like the stat building and like the management of like the days and like all of that kind of stuff. Whereas like for me, it's just like, I want to make sure I like do everything like I want to do. Like, I don't really want to, like, I'm not really that attracted to the minutia of like the character management and all that kind of stuff. So having something that's like a little bit of a guideline in the game itself is kind of neat. But I know I said I didn't have a lot to say about the game, and I've been kind of going on. But yeah, that's been kind of my little rant about it. One other thing that I will say, not video game related but multimedia related, is that I don't know if you saw this because I know you're a Pirates fan. But Sportsnet Pittsburgh now has a streaming service that you can use to watch Pirates and Penguins games. Okay. Without having to have a TV subscription. You have to pay monthly for it.
What's it called?
But it's called SNP 360. So it's like $15 or $17 a month, but like you can watch all the Penguins games, all the Pirates games. You can watch them on demand if you miss them. So like, if you were to just say, just pay for this, just so you can watch the Pirates games during the season, it's way cheaper than having cable, paying $100 a month for cable or whatever. They just started it this year. Like, it literally just booted.
I didn't even know about it.
And so I'm not, like, as we've talked about on the show, I'm not a big baseball fan, but I'm a huge hockey fan. And I wanted to get it to watch the Pens games because, to be honest with you, like, I don't want to steal it. Like, I don't want to go online and steal it. I don't want to have to use a VPN just so I can watch the games that are blacked out and all this shit. And so I was like, oh, I'm really stoked that they're doing this. I'll gladly pay for it because it's way cheaper than cable. And so I signed up for 1 month. I got the subscription. I have a Google TV. Because there's not like a console app for it yet, which is a bummer, but I do have a Google TV or Android TV or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So I downloaded the app for that, and the fucking Google TV app does not have live games, only on-demand games. But if I pull it up on my browser or on my phone or anything like that, I can get the live games.
Huh.
So like, and I don't know if it's like a bug or maybe I wanted to try and send them an email or something to see, because like I said, it's brand new. So I mean, maybe they're still working out the kinks. But now I'm trying to figure out if there's like how I can sort of like do like a screencast from my PC to my Xbox or something to like watch them or whatever. But it's like, because if I can't stream them to my television, like I'm not gonna sit in my computer to watch games. I want to watch them in my living room, and I'm not gonna carry my fucking computer downstairs to watch games. That's stupid. So, but that's kind of a little aside. I thought was kind of cool, like that there's that more places are starting to embrace this sort of direct streaming kind of thing for their games.
Huh. Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, check it out if you're interested. At least I know like the Pirates season is over, but for next year, if it's something that you'd be interested in, it might be worth it.
I'm definitely interested in that, and it's good to know because, as the listeners know, I'm a pirate fan. So I'll have to look into that for sure. That's wild. I never even know what that was. I'll have to have you remind me about it next year. The Pirates are out. They're not playing it now. So, but I'll have to remind you to let me know about it. That's really cool, man. I've been hoping for a long time that they would do something like that with Pittsburgh sports, because all those fucking games get blacked out.
Yeah, they don't do football, obviously, because every football game is pretty much nationally televised in some capacity. I know that not all of them are, obviously, but like footballs, you could, I mean, obviously, I don't know if you could get, like, if you got Sunday Ticket, if it would include, if they black out games on there or not, but but like Sunday Ticket is like $400 a year or something like that. So it's pretty expensive. But I'm not a big football fan, so it really doesn't matter. To me, it's just hockey, and I know you're into baseball, and both of those are on this app. So that's pretty cool.
For sure. That's awesome. Well, thanks for the reference on that. I'll definitely check it out. We don't usually get a lot of listener feedback, but we do get some from time to time. And we had some fun listener feedback. Sorry, as I'm talking, I've got something going on my other screen here. Let me focus. Two things. One Black Talon wrote in and said, "Thanks for the podcast. You're more than welcome." One Black Talon, we appreciate you just listening. And then he also writes in and says, there were 5,849 deer-related crashes in Pennsylvania, resulting in 9 fatalities and 1,265 injuries. So I think that's just a little follow-up. Now, that is 2022. I don't know if we couldn't find any more current stats than that, One Black Talon. But
so what is this in related to? Is this because of your insistence that people watch out for deer?
No, I think we've lamented time and time again on the show about how problematic deer can be and how you hate them.
Fucking giant rats. Yeah. I mean, they're cool to look at. Don't get me wrong, but from a practical perspective in our area, there need to be less of them.
So 9 fatalities in 2022 directly caused by a deer in an automobile accident, and those are probably motorcycle accidents, I would imagine. At least half of them.
Assume. Well, I mean, I guess it's hard to say, but I would assume that a good chunk of them are motorcycle accidents, if it includes motorcycles.
Some could be someone swerving to get out of the way of a deer and hitting a tree or hitting oncoming traffic. That's definitely a thing. They say, for those who don't live this way, that if you are going at a high rate of speed and you're going to clip a deer, don't fucking swerve.
Just fucking hit it.
Just hit it. Just hit it, because you're going to hurt yourself if you get off the road going the speed you're going. If you can't stop, maybe hit the brakes, but don't change your direction, Yeah,
it's like when you see these people, see people a lot of times too, like swerving to miss things like groundhogs and chipmunks and shit. It's like, dude, just fucking run it over. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it to go like out of control or into head-on traffic or
cross
whatever.
Cross a double yellow and get into a head-on. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like people, I get it. You don't want to hit the kitty cat, but it's like, it's way too risky, and especially when you're going like 60 miles an hour. I mean, fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's scary shit.
Yeah, for sure. In addition to that, he did say that I said, yeah, 100 motorcycle related, and his response was, this is the reason I have a guy hunting at my house. Which is funny.
Hell yeah.
But Ryan left us a voice audio message on
the Aussie
on Twitter. Yeah. And he's got some cool shit to say, and I'm gonna play it through my microphone. I didn't download it. I don't think I can. I don't even know how to get to here. This is dope. This is dope. So, hold on. I gotta find... hold on. I'm writing them back. I don't know how you get to the messages.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to pull up his message, man. Oh, here it is.
How to use your
you ready?
phone?
This way you can hear it too, Jake.
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right, here we go. We're gonna play Ryan's message. Maybe.
Sup, gents? I thought this would be easier. Just listening to latest episode as I'm driving back home from PAX Australia. Absolutely did get the stickers. Big thank you. I got them on my desk at home. And I appreciate the additional stickers as well, because I'll be absolutely checking out the bands. Have to check them out. Look fantastic. Because I always hear you talk about them. It's always on my interest. It's also like fucking 11 o'clock at night, and I've been kicking since about 5 with PAX. I met Shuhei Yoshida today. That was incredible. You guys will appreciate that. But in terms of the 30th anniversary stuff, yes, I did. I was able to get myself a controller. And a mate of mine got the Portal, and we're doing an exchange, so I get his new 30th anniversary Portal. He gets my old standard ass white one. But there you go. Reaching out to you from the land of Oz. Appreciate it. Much love.
All right. Well, thanks, Ryan. It's nice to hear your voice. You're a real human being. You're not a bot. No, I knew that. I knew that to begin with. But he did send a picture.
That's awesome.
Of him with, if you guys didn't pick up on that, he met Shuhei Yoshida, which is
that's rad,
awesome. And there's a picture of him here. I don't know if you can kind of see that, maybe, Jake.
Yeah, I could see it. That's sick.
That is dope. So there he is hanging out with Shuhei.
Shuhei with a fucking plaid jacket. That's dope.
Yeah, dude. That's so cool. So thanks for writing in. It's nice to know we have listeners across the drink. The podcast is ever growing, folks. So thank you for writing in. If you guys want to send us audio messages, apparently you can do that now on X or Twitter. It's we don't use that account very often. It's just at PS. This is awesome. I don't think I ever post on it, but we'll call that our mailbag. So if you want to leave a voice message there, you can, like Ryan did. Thank you for doing that. And moving on with the show, we have not a lot of news. Okay, there's not a lot of news here, and again, it has been a slow news week. The first thing I want to do, Jake, is just take a quick quiz. We like to do these quizzes that we find on Push Square, and after this, I've got 3 news points, and only one of them is a non-news point. So there's really not a lot here. But let's take this quick quiz, and let's see how we do, and then we'll get on with some of the news for the show, and then call it an early day out. And question number 1. Which of these games has not won Game of the Year at the Game Awards? The Last of Us Part 2, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Red Dead Redemption 2, or Baldur's Gate 3? I bet you it's The Witcher 3.
I mean,
It got a lot of awards.
It might. It's definitely not Baldur's Gate because it just won Game of the Year this past year. And I have a hard time believing what came out the same year as Red Dead. Because I mean, Red Dead was a fucking masterclass of a game. Red Dead. I'm not looking up the answer, I promise. I'm just curious about what games came out. That was 2018. So, 2018 games. Oh, God of War came out that year. Could God of War win over Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, maybe. Red Dead 2.
I mean, because I was thinking maybe The Last of Us, but critically, The Last of Us was like really
It's
well
probably
received
Baldur's
that
Gate
year.
3,
so.
man.
No, dude, it just won. It just won this last year.
It's either The Witcher 3 or Red Dead 2. It's probably Red Dead 2, man, because Rockstar's not going to win. They're not going to give the Rockstar.
They might not.
I'm going to say Red Dead 2. Correct.
Nice.
Which of these Persona games has the highest overall critic scores on Metacritic? Persona 4 Golden, Persona 3, Persona 3 Reload, or Persona 5 Royal?
I'd be willing to bet it's Persona 5 Royal.
Let's go for it. Correct. Doom released for PS4 in 2016. What year did its sequel Doom Eternal launch on PS4? Is it 2020, 2024, 2022, or 2018? I think it's 2020.
Yep.
All
Awesome
right,
game.
Correct. What kind of game is Crimson Tears on the PS2? Is it a side-scrolling shooter, a turn-based RPG, a 3D beat-em-up, or a visual novel? It is published by Capcom.
I have no idea. I've never played this game.
Crimson Tears. Sounds like a side-scrolling shooter to me.
Yeah, I mean, that does seem like it could be something.
All right, I'm going to go.
It's got kind of like anime flair, so that might be true.
Nope, it's a 3D beat-em-up.
Womp, womp, womp.
Croc, Legend of the Galbos, and Croc 2 are developed by which UK studio? Sumo Digital, Argonaut Software, Codemasters, or Creative Assembly?
Dude, your guess is as good as mine. I didn't play these games.
Let's go Codemasters. Nope.
I think they were racing studio.
Argonaut Software. In Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, who asks Nathan Drake to take part in the game's initial heist? Harry Flynn, Zoran Lazarevic, Elena Fisher, or Victor Sullivan? It's Harry Flynn.
That is correct, sir.
All right, moving forward. Question 7 to 10. We've missed 2 so far. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes takes place in what country? Cuba, Panama, Dominican Republic, or Bolivia?
Ground Zeroes.
I think it's Panama.
Ish.
I don't know,
It's not
though.
Cuba? You sure it's not Cuba because it's like the whole Cold War thing?
What's that?
Are you sure it's not Cuba because it's like kind of like a Cold War kind of spy thriller thing?
No, I'm not sure. We'll go Cuba.
Okay.
Correct.
Nice.
Which of these games isn't a Dragon Ball title? Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, Dragon Ball Z Beyond the Saiyans, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, or Dragon Ball Z Infinite World?
I know Ultimate Battle 22 and Final Bout are actual games. I don't know about the other two. So you got a 50-50 I got you that
World
far.
doesn't sound
50-50
right.
shot. I don't know, man. These Japanese games have weird names.
Well, then Beyond the Saiyans, we'll say.
Saiyans?
Yep. All right, we're correct. Beyond the Saiyans.
Nice.
Question 9 of 10. We've missed 2. What was the first Gran Turismo release on the PS3? 4, 5 Prologue, HD Concept, or Gran Turismo 5?
I don't know, to be honest with you. What's the Gran Turismo game you played on PS3 because you like won it from Subway
That
or
was
something?
4.
So that's a hint, I guess.
HD Concept.
At least you know that one. At least you know that one came out. I've never heard of HD Concept, which is, I guess, kind of.
Well,
showing you
4
how
was on the
much I know about these
PS4.
games.
We know 5 Prologue and 5 came out afterwards. So they're saying which one was on the PS3. It's probably HD Concept.
Could be, yeah.
Correct. What's the
Nice.
main character called in 2021's Deathloop? Grimshaw, Colt Vaughn, Red Ford, or Gale West?
Colt Vaughn is his name.
Correct. 8 out of 10. Good job. All right, let's get on with the news, dude.
Nice.
The next point of news, and we are going to crash through this because it's already 7:30 on a Monday at night, and we got to hold ourselves accountable to getting a show out. Silent Hill 2 Remake is doing very well, Jake. Any interest in this game? Did you buy this yet?
I did not, but I'll be honest with you. I have been super tempted to buy Silent Hill 2 and play it kind of in conjunction with Metaphor. Just as like because it's like a spooky game, you know, for the holiday. But I don't know, man. I just don't. The listeners know if they've heard me talk. I struggle playing more than one game at a time. I tend to favor one over the other, and then I forget what was going on the game that I was playing before, and so like, could I do it? Yeah, probably, because I think Metaphor is going to be kind of a long haul. But at the same time, it's like I kind of like to zone in. But I've been hearing really good things about Silent Hill 2 Remake, and the more I look at it, the more I'm really interested in playing it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, it looks good to me, but like I said, I got to blame the casting of Frank Stone. Moving on, Tencent, we're apparently looking at buying out Ubisoft recently. Ubisoft kind of came out and said, well, you know, we review a lot of different people's interest in our whatever, but this was kind of a big deal, but not a big deal. I think it's a big deal for Ubisoft. They clearly haven't had many big hits lately, and I think like they're probably encountering some financial struggles. From what I understand, they have a really, really large company, and it's got to be tough for them because the Star Wars game didn't do very well. That Renegade or Outlaw or whatever it's called, and then
Outlaws,
yeah, they just postponed the Assassin's Creed Shadows game, and you know, no one knows what they're really working on, but we know they have a lot more Assassin's Creed shit coming down the pike. So they got to get creative here and get themselves out of the hole somehow. But interesting.
Yeah. I definitely feel like Ubisoft is kind of in a bad way right now, and I don't know what they can do. I mean, their headcount is absolutely massive. They've got whatever 20,000, 18,000 people working there, something like that. And it's like, yeah, they do put out decent games. Like, I don't think that anyone said that Star Wars Outlaws is a bad game. It just didn't light the world on fire. I think people are kind of over Star Wars. It's been beaten to the ground at this point, and because it wasn't an amazing game, it didn't have the ability to overcome that public sentiment. And then, you know, with Assassin's Creed Shadows, there's all this controversy around the character selection, and then the whole broken Torygate thing that, you know, provided a lot of that caused a lot of issues within the Japanese culture. And so, not to mention the obvious comparisons to something like Ghosts of Tsushima and Ghosts of Yote, which is going to be releasing around the same time or later that year. So, and then obviously, like, they canceled games that people were excited about, you know, like Division Heartland. Like, I know you and I, maybe you a little bit more than me, were excited to see what that game was about, but it ended up getting canceled. And then I don't know. The Far Cry games do really well, but you know they don't. It's gonna probably be a while before we get another one. I can't remember when the last one came out. I think it was 2021 or 2020. I want to say. So you know, maybe we're due for another Far Cry game here in a couple years. It could help them out, but I think that they're reviewing their options and seeing, like, I know the Guillemot family, like, they don't want to sell the company because they started it from the ground up when they were, I don't know, selling farm equipment or whatever the fuck they were doing like 50 years ago. but I don't like. I would be okay with them sort of getting an infusion of money from somewhere and taking the time they need to make really good games again. Maybe even spin off some stuff like a Child of Light sequel, or something like that. But I don't necessarily want that infusion of money to come from China and Tencent, and because I just worry about how their games are going to end up being censored whenever their primary benefactor is has that type of political background. Whether it's good or bad or whatever is irrelevant, but there is history of censorship. I mean, look at something like Star Wars posters in China, how they like put the black main character in the background so you don't really notice him. Like weird shit like that I don't really want to see in Ubisoft's games. Especially imagine them releasing a game with a black protagonist like Assassin's Creed Shadows. So what would be awesome, and this is easier said than done, this is coming from someone who has absolutely no idea how to run a business, is that maybe they should get rid of half of their fucking staff. First of all, that would save them a shitload of money, because they could get rid of half of their staff and still have way more employees than all of Sony's first party combined. And they could, with that savings, maybe focus on, I don't know, like a new Ghost Recon game or something like that. Although like the last Ghost Recon game didn't do very well. I think it was Breakpoint or something like that. But I don't know, or maybe like a new Rayman game would be kind of cool. As like a new platformer kind of more kid-friendly sort of game would be really neat. But I don't know, like I don't want Ubisoft to go away or anything, but it seems like they definitely need to get their affairs in order. Maybe tighten up their ship, get rid of some of their overhead, and start making games that are a little bit more focused. Like, you don't need to have a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I know people really liked, but it was like fucking 400 hours long. Like, nobody people don't want that as much as they used to.
Yeah, I don't.
The age of the average gamer goes up every single year. And so now that the age of the average gamer is in their 30s, people in their 30s don't have time for a fucking 400-hour epic. Like they want to play a game. Yeah, they want one of those every now and again where they can spend a lot of time with the game or whatever. But dude, you know, I don't know. Like, to me, you take a game like Immortals Phoenix Rising, which I thought was fucking fantastic. I loved that game. And they just threw the sequel out because of, I don't know, like they didn't think that it was going to do well, or they didn't have faith in it, or it wasn't coming along. I don't know. But to me, it's like you could have taken that game, just slapped a new coat of paint on it, and maybe like a new story arc or whatever, or even made it a sequel, and it could have been great. You didn't even have to do much new with it. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to sell well. I would be satisfied with it, but that doesn't mean everybody else would. I don't know. I feel bad because they have games that I really love, but they also have games that I don't care about. Like, I know you're a big Division fan. I know a lot of people love, what's it called? The one that's like the multiplayer game where it's about like, like hostages and shit like that.
Payday?
Siege. No, Siege. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people really like dig those games, but I don't know. I feel like they could probably do a lot to tighten up shit. Although, you know, how do you make an Assassin's Creed? Like, dude, why the fuck are you saying that you're going to make 5 Assassin's Creed games? Like that, like at the same time. That doesn't make any sense. Like, nobody wants that. Who wants that? So, hopefully they just kind of take a step back, reevaluate their situation. Because I guarantee you, whether they do it or not, if somebody comes in and buys Ubisoft, the first thing that buyer is going to do is just start chopping jobs. I can almost guarantee it. Because think about Activision. They're the biggest publisher in the world. They don't have that many employees. So I don't know what is going on over there with HR at Ubisoft, and I get it that you don't want to just fire people willy-nilly and stuff, but it seems pretty wild to me. So I don't know if you have anything to add, but I think that they need to reevaluate at their very least.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just interesting. But I don't think they're going anywhere. But I think they've got enough staying power that they'll be around. But it's just interesting. But anyways, next news point. PlayStation blog posted the top downloads for September 2024 that occurred on the PlayStation Store. And I'm just going to run through these titles real quick. NBA 2K25 was the number one downloaded game in 2024 on the PSN, followed up by Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, EA Sports FC 25, Astro Bot, Black Myth Wukong, EA Sports Madden NFL 25, Grand Theft Auto 5, Pal World, EA Sports College Football 25, and Hogwarts Legacy. Those are the top 10.
Dude, fucking Warhammer cleaning up shop. Hell yeah. Space Marine's killing it, dude. I am so stoked because they left it wide open for a sequel, and to be honest with you, the game almost kind of ends on a cliffhanger a little bit, and so I'm super stoked that it looks like. I mean, I guess I don't know. They haven't announced this, but it seems like the game is probably successful enough for Focus or Saber or whoever is doing it to I think it's Saber to make another one. And yeah, so happy for them. And obviously Astro Bot seems like it's doing well. In the mix up there with the likes of EA Sports FC and NBA 2K. That's it's pretty good performance.
Yeah. That out of the way, let's talk about new games coming out this week. October 15th, Darksiders 2 Deathinitive Edition. Drova Forsaken Kin, Just Dance 2025 Edition, NEVA, New World Aeternum, Nico Dorico, The Magical World, Squirrel with a Gun. October 16th, 8-Bit Adventures 2, and Purpose 1951. October 17th, A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead, and now Anomaly Agent, Arizona Sunshine Remake on PSVR 2, Arsene Lupin, Once a Thief, Blazing Strike, MechWarrior 5, Clans, and Killing Time Resurrected, October 18th, Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Stunt Mayhem, Retro Realms, TMNT Mutants Unleashed, PS5, Together We Live, The Seed Unit 7, and Unknown 9 Awakening. Those are the games. The Arizona Sunshine looks kind of nice. But, yeah, I don't know. I probably won't be playing it. But there's a lot of games coming out. So those are the new games. But that's all I got for the show, man.
This Unknown 9 game is coming out? I haven't heard anything about this. This is the game that stars... I thought this sounded familiar. This is the game that stars the chick from The Witcher TV show, the one that played Yennefer.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm kind of curious, dude. I haven't seen anything about this game. I wonder if it's any good. Interesting.
I don't know. Well, that wraps up today's show. It's been just under an hour. Thank you for tuning in. Jake, do you have anything you'd like to say to anybody before we head out for this week?
So I've been looking at soda streams.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were talking a little bit. I don't remember if that was on the air or off the air. We were talking about sparkling water last week, and I've been really into it. And just like being able to carbonate shit myself and not have to like buy just tons of cans and bottles and all this crap. They're kind of expensive though. I mean, like to get a Soda Stream and then like a bottle of CO2 is like $100.
Wow. I used to
Which
have
is
one. It was old though.
yeah, which is although I guess like I mean if you're saving a lot of money, I guess it's buying individual drinks or whatever, it's probably not that bad, but
Right.
I don't know. They say you can make with one bottle of CO2, you can make 16 gallons of soda water. Which is a lot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. But yeah, I might want to like carbonate things that aren't water, and apparently you're not supposed to do that because it can like blow up, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because stuff that's not water could potentially like clog the little valves and stuff inside of it, and if the pressure gets too high, it can fucking blow up, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, they give you special bottles that screw in to the device when you make them. So, anyways,
yeah,
very good. All right, well,
anyway,
thanks.
that's all I have to say. That was a little bit of a non sequitur.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next week. Thanks to all the listeners, Ryan for giving us a voice message, One Black Talon for hitting us up on YouTube. And you guys are all welcome to do that. If you want to write us an email, ps@awesome@gmail.com, go for it. Go write us on YouTube. Send us a voicemail on Twitter. We are here for it. And until next time, thanks for listening to episode 347. Like Death Stranding, Darkest Dungeon 2, and Dead Space Remake. P.S.
P.S.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.